Take a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Second?
Motion second, call roll.
Alright, a motion to come out of close, Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes. I take a motion certifying that we only discuss those things we went into closed session for.
Second.
So moved. Second.
Walter done beat you.
Yeah, he wants to be.
Oh, did he? These seconds before the vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
On a motion to
It
certify,
all works out.
on a motion of certification resolution, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which we went into closed for was convened and discussed. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
All right.
And the floor is open for a motion to
Yeah,
approve one thing. It was on closed session.
yeah, I would like to, make a motion to, go ahead and separate from the city of Radford a victim rights position in Floyd County that would be assumed within our administration.
Does that cover everything?
It would separate from a shared grant.
Grant,
It would separate the grant funding to go into the respective localities, which would be here, which would take on an employee.
Correct. And authorize any and all signatures needed. That's the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. On a motion to move forward, of separating a shared grant for a victim witness grant with the County of Bradford, and take that employee on as a county employee under administration. Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have approval of the appointment to the planning commission. We had 3 real good candidates, so we will
Table it
table that until our day meeting.
to the next meeting.
Or yes, until we have time to digest what we heard.
That's fair. They were wonderful.
All right, so then we get back down to regular.
No, sir, if you remember, we kind of skipped to
We
it.
did that.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to 10A.
Are we ready?
So this is, just, we presented, I think, Mr. Booth, I'm not sure, you were here that day. We, have a property that the, county is already engaged in, the legacy property is what we call it. Mark and I, Mark did a lot of work going, scoping it out, seeing how we can respect the present business or future business, whatever that is, because there's a dock in the back, and still make that work as possibly our first compactor convenience site. But we had to wait on VDOT.
I was on the phone.
Oh, that's right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, I knew you weren't here, my apologies. We kind of wanted to wait to move forward, or even asked to move forward until VDOT gave us we could have an approved entrance, but just because there's a tiny bit of turn, which we got. So we're just asking to continue to move forward with that property in that fashion and bring to you guys, the results. So advertising, all that kind of stuff, and if you'd like to really set, and so just to move forward is what I'm asking for, not to approve any monetary at this time.
I'll make a motion to move forward on that side as discussed, which I believe I also asked if we could work in the recycling section.
Yeah, we already talked that, we got
Okay.
it.
I'll say.
And sir, I just wanna maybe make note for the minutes prior, that Ms. Cookenbook did leave the meeting as we discussed, she had to leave, so we'll note that there, the quorum is now 4. Go ahead.
All right, that's gonna make it hard on action items.
It could, I guess. So if it's okay, on the motion to approve, for staff to, move forward and gather the information with regards to the legacy property as a new convenience compactor site, Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
And then, sir, we have the added agenda item for 10B.
Yes, as I said before, we approved this resolution back in 2019. Where that we made Floyd County a sanctuary county for the Second Amendment. I had a lot of people texting me, calling me on this, wanting to know about it. I told them that we had one, but we would reaffirm it. It's still good and in effect. So I'll take a motion to reaffirm the Second Amendment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Yeah. Mhm.
Have y'all read it? Have y'all even seen it?
I haven't seen it now.
I seen it last time.
We didn't walk through a copy of I promised them to give them a minute to.
I couldn't remember, sir, I'm sorry, Lee, but I was pretty sure Walter had it. But
Yeah, I forgot about we got my
Nah, I'm good.
Sure.
Important one that everybody needs to know. I would like a statement added to the record during the discussion. It's for those presidents and for those that are gonna see this. Please don't assume this protects you from the ATF or the SWAT team of the state police or any agency. Last time when we did that, I had calls after calls, people calling me, oh, I'm glad y'all did that now. I let the state police show up at my door and trying to explain to them, it does not prevent them from doing that. And I just want, I think it's prudent to make that statement again. And if those in the audience is looking for support of this, please tell your neighbors, tell your friends. This does not prevent them from coming in. If, and I'm not gonna get into the sheriff's office, but if the sheriff's office has a properly executed warrant, they have to deliver it. So it's not gonna stop them in their jobs either. But I just wanted to make that clear so that I was so afraid somebody was gonna get into a battle the last time and it was gonna be a mess. So I just wanted to say that now. This is saying that this board supports the Second Amendment of the Constitution. And I'll hush up now, I took too much time.
On a motion to reaffirm the December 10th, 2019, it's actually document number 1085 in our resolution ordinance, which is a Second Amendment sanctuary for Floyd County, or Floyd County Board of Supervisors declares that we are a sanctuary, a Second Amendment sanctuary locality. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
All right, so it's reaffirmed. So the next one on the list, we actually received from one of our community services that we, New River Valley Community Services, Mike Wade, yeah, he's the coordinator. He emailed this and asked that if we would, as a board, on our next board meeting, approve this, take this proclamation for consideration. It's a big push in community services. It falls in line with And actually, our peer center also has made some referrals and assisted some people and some, documents and stuff to help in this fashion. So we thought it, put it in front of you for your consideration for approval.
And anybody sitting here can think about, a lot of people don't think about lottery tickets and gambling. But I know a fella that actually gets the key into me that he get paid on Friday and on Sunday he would be loaning money off his brothers to buy cigarettes. And he done shot his whole paycheck on lottery tickets. And I mean, it was sad, it really was. And I mentioned it to some of my other members of the family that, may ought to get in some help, and they just blew me off. But it's a serious, serious thing, because, you can stand in any store and watch how many lottery tickets goes out there.
Yeah, there have been people that actually lost their businesses.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We can think of one that quick.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know, this deal, so I'll take a motion to approve the proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
Second, we call the roll.
On the motion to approve the proclamation of Problem Gambling Awareness Month, Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
and Mr. Terman.
Yes.
So the next one, sir, is the, we had the public hearing earlier. This would be to approve the ordinance for the credit debit card processing fee of 2%. And if you do take it into consideration, possibly discuss when you would like this to go into effect.
Yesterday.
They say it's
Retroactively.
does statute give a time limit on it?
I'm sorry?
Is there a time limit?
No.
So
We could just we could immediately start the process, and whenever we're set up, just have to do some stuff behind the scenes, from what I understand. And we would start in, if it's okay, like the treasurer's office, primary, and then we would begin at some point. Next would be Department of Inspections, and then there's 2 others for consideration.
As Mr. Booth says, as soon as possible or before.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve, read it first.
The ordinance for credit
Ordinance
debit.
For the credit and debit card processing fees of 2%.
So moved.
Second.
All right, on the approval of the ordinance for credit debit card processing fees of 2%, for staff to begin the process, and once able to get that moving on and hooked up appropriately, begin immediately. Is that
Right.
okay? Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Terman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Maybe sometime down the road, we can take a look to see if people dropped off and using their car.
So with this, there's reports.
Right.
So we'll get to see the report, because I want to make sure we follow, because again, we did a 2% based on, just current. If that may have to change,
They have to go up.
it could, or maybe, if less people are using it, and could go down. So I want to make sure that, we're going to monitor it in our office with the reporting and stuff like that.
Really, the people that's using it's gonna keep on using it, because they used to paying a fee.
Correct, you pay it everywhere else, you pay it at the doctor's, The other thing it will eliminate is there has been a monthly service fee, especially through, so that would be eliminated as well. So that just chipped away, spending it,
This is still cheaper than a lot of places charge.
And I mean, overall, when you do the average of 2%, it's still less money than we were actually putting out, because we had, we didn't have any, charge, for, no pun intended, I guess that's not a good word. We didn't have any, we couldn't say American Express, you know, you can't charge that. They do 6%, another card would do 1%, another card.
Yeah.
So it would, that's why last year, when I said it was 23,000, we're already on a, last year, it was 32,000, I just saw it. This year, we're already at 27 to this point, you know what I mean, in the half year.
And we got another cycle.
And we got another 6 months. So, it's a good thing.
Good move on our part, I
Think so?
All righty, with that, I'll move down to our public comment period. Is the intent that all people attending the meeting of the board, regardless of handicap and conditions, shall have an opportunity to participate. If any person present requires any special assistance, please let the board know in order that arrangements can be made. Speakers are limited to 4 minutes. Sharing or giving away of unused time is not permitted. The board does not respond to questions or comments made by the speaker during public comment period. So with that, I'll open it up and who's our
Our first speaker is Renee Medcat, Courthouse District.
Well, I want to heartily thank you for reaffirming the Second Amendment resolution. And Mr. Booth, thank you for clarifying that too, because I think a lot of people don't understand that it doesn't really have any legal teeth, I guess. But I think still it's important to make a public stand that you support that. All of our constitutional rights are important, as you know, and I think that one especially. So thank you.
And next is Brandon Decker.
Wrote this nice fancy speech, but you guys beat me to the punch. I appreciate a good portion of it. So good evening. Thank you for hearing from all of us this evening. I'm a small homestead pilot and have since 2021. I have a small family with a young daughter and a son expected to be joining us this spring. My wife and I moved to Floyd County not because we came in with ideas of how to change the county, but because we love what the county is, a small mountain farming community. We chose Floyd because it's a place where we want to raise our children. It's a place where people are kind, where old America and old Virginia still exists. It's a place where the cultural values that we grew up with still exist. Those values are now under attack by the Virginia General Assembly. The spate of bills that have been proposed to fundamentally change the Commonwealth from an affordable, prosperous, and safe place to raise a family to the exact opposite of those. In 2020, when many of these radical bills were put before the General Assembly, Virginians came together to stand up for the God-given rights that are enshrined in the constitutions of this great nation and the Commonwealth. This board, as we know now, specifically, had adopted a resolution that they reaffirmed this evening, so thank you very much for that. I would ask that, I would recommend that you add in the relevant Supreme Court cases of Cationa versus Massachusetts and New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated versus Bruin, which further protects our constitutionally affirmed rights. I would further ask this body to call on Sheriff Brian Craig and the honorable deputies that serve under him to address the community and how his office can ensure that these tyrannical edicts from Chateau Hill will be combated in the county. I would further recommend that this board have an emergency session to discuss and pass the resolution proposed by former delegate Tim Anderson that is titled Resolution of the Board of Supervisors of York County of Virginia declining to commence early voting prior to the expiration of constitutional waiting periods. I've emailed you all copies of this resolution already. I would like to point out that this specific item is being addressed right now by the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors, while Patrick County has already adopted this along with the city of Lynchburg. I would also ask the citizens of Floyd County to come together to build a more resilient community in the wake of the progressivist revolution that's occurring in the rest of the Commonwealth. Strong communities are what overcome hardship. The county should not only be coming together to support one another in the hard road ahead, but men and women should be coming together to train and be ready to stand against the progressivist tide that will see us disarmed, bankrupted, and subjected to the whims of a geographical area that does not share our values. I would finally ask this body to call in a muster of the unorganized militia of Floyd County for citizens aged 16 to 55 years of age as defined by Virginia Code Title 44, Chapter 1, for the purpose of not only allowing members of the community to physically stand together and show willingness to stand up for our rights, but as a means of putting like-minded individuals together that wish to serve Floyd County outside the traditional existing volunteer organizations. Floyd is home to a diverse selection of the political spectrum, conservatives, Democrats, and independents. Our founding fathers, while not infallible, would be proud of the long traditions of this county and would likely use this community as a shining example of the spirit of their deeds and words and what they meant when they were fighting a tyrannical government. Those that are cheering the current proposals in the General Assembly, I'd ask you to sincerely look at how these new taxes, regulations, restrictions, and frankly bewildering laws will be applied. I would ask you to be honest with yourself. Do you truly believe that these bills will make us safer, a more affordable society, more free? If you do, then may the Lord help you, because we cannot. Before you jump for joy over these bills, ask yourself how you would be acting if the other side was doing this to you. Keep in mind the pendulum swings both ways, and those who sow the wind will reap the whirlwind. In closing, I'd like to say this. Long dormant resentments are surfacing like an ancient leviathan awakened from beneath the sea. People who do not have our best interests at heart are now in control of the Commonwealth government, and they're rapidly moving to snuff out the flames of liberty. I would urge all of us to remind them that traditionally those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger would often wind up inside of it. Thank you.
And then we have Paul Kitchen.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Supervisors, administrative staff, and fellow citizens. My name is Paul Kitchen. I live in the Little River District, and before I continue, I wanted to make it clear that my comments this evening are mine alone and do not represent any organization or board or association that I am a member of. This is strictly me. I want to read to you from the law. This is from the Virginia Election Laws 2025 edition, and this is ordinance or law 24.2-307, requirements of county and city precincts. I'm going to read the first sentence of the law and the last sentence of the law. First, the governing body of each county and city shall establish, I'll repeat, shall establish by ordinance as many precincts as it deems necessary. The last sentence of the law says, the governing body shall establish by ordinance, again, shall establish by ordinance one polling place for each precinct. It is codified in the law. This is what each locality within the Commonwealth is required to do. Now you know that there has been lawsuits trying to prevent the vote on April 21st to consider the constitutional amendment. The Virginia Supreme Court has heard the case, and they have made a ruling. They have said that the people of the Commonwealth should have their voice, even though they did not rule on the merits of the case. That has yet to be established. But the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, said, we need to let the people of the Commonwealth vote on this. If later the merits of the cases that are being put through the courts would invalidate the election, so be it. But if we don't take the vote and we don't hear what the people have to say, then we have taken away the constitutional rights of the people of this Commonwealth to have their voice. I encourage you to avoid any resolutions that you believe could restrict or infringe the right of individuals to vote. Let we, the people, have our voice, and then we'll sort it out in the courts based on the merits of the cases coming out of Tazewell County. Thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate it.
And our last speaker is David West.
Mr. Chairman, my name is David West. I'm from the Locust Grove District. Mr. Cox is my supervisor. I'm here as a concerned citizen of the state of Virginia about Article 7, Section 1 of the Constitution of Virginia. And all I'm asking for, I've presented each one of you all a copy of this resolution that passed Patrick County, Spotsylvania County, and being considered yesterday and tonight in several other locations. I'm not going to read it all. Only thing that I want to address is right here at the bottom. It says that to be further resolved that this resolution shall be transmitted immediately to the Virginia State Board of Elections and to the Office of the Attorney General. I myself expect the Board of Elections and I register to follow the Constitution of the state of Virginia to the letter. And I'll leave this right here for you all, and I have a few copies for anybody that wants one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No other speakers, I will close public comment period. Move down to board time. Got anything you want to discuss, update us on?
Let's not forget, I just want to remind, let's not forget about our road list that we want, we took some things off of. So at some point, because here in the spring, we're gonna be having our 6-year road plan meeting again, but that other, I call it wish list, of the VDOT, all you can do is wish it or something. Let's not forget, we need to, I'm sure everybody might have a road in their district or a specific thing that they want to add to that list, so that when we get all the dust settles, then we have that list and moving forward that, And I will say this, I do have a few, but, the last list, I had several on, and some of them got worked on, so I'm willing to back off, because I know y'all have a whole lot more dirt roads in your district than I do in mine, but occasionally I'll throw one in, but I just think it, I'm saying for Linda, for her district too, if y'all have something that really needs to go on it, that's fine, I'll hold off till the next spring.
You've got one in your district, don't even have a bridge, to slip and drive through the creek.
There's a couple in my district that you're working great. Very Creek and Dunga Valley.
We gotta get you up to the 21st
Century.
century.
And I'm gonna say this, and I do this every year, I really think we should take a serious look at the new road money coming in and decide whether we wanna add more roads to the 6-year road plan, or do we wanna take that money and use it in countywide projects and get some of these existing roads up to speed. And I'll just leave it at that. If you remember, the last administrator, Joe and I went to Richmond and we met with some of the people higher up to VDOT. I mentioned that at one time in the past before, I was part of the board and we did that. We took the new money and we made a countywide project, and we took $1,000 out of the first one on the list. But when we did that, they shot it to the top, messed them up. They had to do everything on our list first before they could get back to the others. And what happened this year? David comes along and tells us after they approved their budget, they set up a little category, countywide funds, $32,000. They're giving us permission to use $32,000 of something that we already have the authority to do. And that's what VDOT has been doing since the late 80s, eroding our authority.
You can use your money, is it?
Yeah, we can use our money.
He told me back in May there that, the county had 1.2 million that they used to keep Floyd County going. And I told him, I said, I think we could use that just in Union Valley.
I think we need to itemize the list, because I'd love to see what they're,
Yeah.
He got a little red-faced when I told him anything west of Charlottesville, they forgot about.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like all the money goes east of Charlottesville.
And I guess the point of all this, just for those in the audience, the people at VDOT, the upper echelon of VDOT know Floyd County and know our names.
Yeah, never mind.
And they don't grin when we just come. But all, I just wanted to touch base on that.
You gonna say something?
I was just gonna ask on this, early voting resolution. I've heard, what I've heard in the media and talking to different folks and so forth, but have we like heard anything from the county attorney on what his opinion is, or?
When you went.
I was getting ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my beliefs and so forth, but I would like to know what his stance as a county attorney is.
I'm gonna read or just kind of sum sum it up?
Just summarize it, but please verify the one on the lawsuits and stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
Um,
I learned stuff from this one.
so, to sum it up, I will tell you what his concerns are.
Okay.
Okay, so, the board generally, so his first one was the board generally has no role in ordering elections to be conducted, and the board has no statutory oversight when to open polls, offer early voting, or otherwise oversee the casting of ballots. The board has administrative functions to provide, staff, such, administrative functions such as providing funding, HR services, locations, facilities, for use by the electoral board, the board of supervisors has no substantive authority over the conduct of local elections.
So he's saying it's out of our lane.
Yes, yes. He goes on, and this is what I think the chairman wanted me to note. If you order the electoral board and register to not conduct early voting, and then the Virginia Supreme Court upholds the special election as valid, that would mean that the board's action would constitute election interference or violate election laws which incur criminal or civil liability for each. Each one, including penalty under Virginia Code 24.2-1005-2. Note that violations of this section would carry a $1,000 civil penalty for each affected voter. So, I can imagine that if a failure to allow early voting could easily affect, let's say, 500 people, let's just say. That's
Each one of us.
500 people
$500,000.
per each,
Affected.
500 people, $1,000 per 500 for
Per five.
each.
Contrary to my personal beliefs in this, also, the early voting takes place in the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
It has been made clear through the years, we're responsible for the parking lot, we're responsible for the sidewalks. Anything else is under the circuit court judge with their approval or disapproval.
Yeah, you run it by maintenance and things like that.
Well,
We keep
maintenance
them-
is
yeah,
ours, but I'm
keep them-
talking about what goes on in that
Yes, sir.
building is under the circuit court clerk,
Correct.
not us.
Mhm.
Now, if it was in this building, that might be different, but, if I'm not mistaken, the Patrick County resolution that I saw did not use the term shall not use county property,
Mhm.
should not use county property, I believe. Now, I don't know what they finally adopted, but they switched around and said should versus shall not.
Well, we're, in our last resolution for the Second Amendment, we're saying that holds no weight on anything. But on this resolution, we're saying it holds weight.
Because you're going by code and you would be taking an action of stopping something that's
Right.
constitutional. So meaning, I think the gist and when I had conversations, if you told me and I go to, electoral board and to the registrar and say, shut it down. Say, shut it down. You can't do this. And if you do it, we're not paying you. You know what I mean? You can't use our facility, so now there's a violation because it has to be, addressed and, so there's the
We've already
action.
appropriated funds for the year, and as far as the funds, if the only way this board could not pay for something is go back and pool fund, right?
Right.
Yeah, the funds are
And I
already
don't
there.
think that's a smart move either.
What bothers me is this. Say the Republican counties in Virginia decided to do what they're asking to, change the voting to the April the 16th to the 21st. Well, all the Democratic counties go out here and go ahead and vote, because they're passed before they can. So we're behind a month and a half on voting. So we can't get that many people out in the public county to actually get out and vote if we pass a resolution of that nature.
Excuse me, sir?
Hey,
Sir?
Bob, hey, Bob,
Bob. We can hear each other.
But, I mean, that's my theory on this thing, and that's my problem with it. I mean, you know, we would not have enough time to catch up what we lost if the majority of the counties stayed and voted from March the 3rd to, April the 21st. And we started at April the 16th to the 21st. We would be so far behind that this thing would pass.
Especially if the Supreme Court rules that it's okay.
Yeah.
So
And see, nobody knows what they're gonna rule on that part.
Right.
And
So,
I-
so the gist of Mr. Durbin, County Attorney, multiple conversations last week, spoke with the registrar multiple times. A lot of the communication, from what I understand, my conversation with the registrar was they deferred to the a lot of communication in writing that she was getting was instructing her at this time to defer to the county attorney. And it was pretty much, you know, let's just give this a minute. Let the law proceed as it's supposed to, the way Supreme Court, it'll probably reach there, and there's gonna be your answer. And to stay out of harm's way in between. I summarized that, he didn't say that, so, you know.
He had a whole lot more legalese than.
He did.
I'm sure.
Well, this tracker of the 133 jurisdictions, see Campbell County, their board of supervisors passed it. Charlotte County for.
Now, I wanted, if I may, I'm not to interrupt you, it says pass, but when you look into it a little bit more, it's not passed yet, that is confirmed by, and I'm just, because I looked into a lot of this, it said the Board of Supervisors voted to oppose the referendum per Chris Feraldi. Now, Chris Feraldi, as I look up, is a new town councilman for Lynchburg.
But he's saying it passed for Campbell.
Right, but he's
and
stating,
Charlotte.
correct, so he's stating it passed for them, so I don't have validity that that's passed. That's why I don't wanna put something out there without validation, and I can't find it.
But there's some of them, it wasn't the board of supervisors that passed them, it was the Republican Party.
Correct,
that
committee,
passed it.
yeah.
And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's still pending.
Well, they're scheduled to hear it, and the rest of them, there's no action. That's documented on this site.
You know, I've always been opinionated, so, and I'm not afraid to say that what they're doing is unconstitutional. There's no way around it, period. We voted 6 years ago, 60-some% of the people says, no, we don't redistrict without a bipartisan committee. So now they're trying to run this down our throat, violate the Constitution. I wish some judge would get off his butt and stand up and say, it's unconstitutional, leave it alone. Sitting here, I know how I feel, I know what I wanna do, but I've got to protect, and the whole board has got to protect this county. And it's not only the Republicans, it's Democrats and independents and everything. So, you know, we're in a hot seat that we didn't ask for, and it really puts us on the spot trying to make a decision that we have no legal right to make it. You know,
Well, we have a county attorney that is,
Right,
that
that's the reason.
we're making a recommendation or
You know me.
suggestion.
Lots of times when you ask me something, I say, ask Steve.
Right.
Because,
Well, that's why I wanted to hear his opinion.
yeah,
I mean, I personally think they're all a bunch of jackasses up there in Richmond. On both sides.
You can go higher than that if you want to.
Yeah.
But
I've told
90
you.
days is 90 days, in my opinion.
So multiple people, if you want to defeat this, you don't defeat it with resolutions, you you get off your butts, you talk to your friends, you talk to your neighbors, tell them to get out here on April the 21st and vote no. That's the reason that we're in this mess, is because a lot of people sat at home and didn't vote. And she can tell you that her and my son catches the dickens. If I asked them, I said, y'all vote, and they said, well, I don't know, boy, I tell you, I go off. Because I've voted ever since I've been old enough to vote. I don't care if it's the dog catcher, I'm gonna vote. You know, that's the only constitutional right I got that I can enforce without getting a bunch of feedback. And I believe in the Constitution, it was wrote for a reason, and it's like the Bible, it's not gonna be changed, in my opinion. Believe it or not. You know, our forefathers had enough foresight to see a lot of this stuff coming down. And, you know, we need to stay in our lane, we need to fight what's coming down at the ballot box.
And each of us have the right to contact our representatives and let them know how we feel as individuals.
I get so tired when I ask somebody, do I hear a vote against this thing? Well, I'm just one vote, it don't count. There is elections in this state, that was local elections that was decided on a coin toss. They had multiple recounts on a legislative seat in Virginia Beach or somewhere in eastern Virginia a few years ago. That was one vote. So don't tell me your vote don't count, you know, because elections has been lost, and elections been won on that one vote. So I'll shut up, get out there and vote. All right,
Correspondence? And your correspondence
but we
folder?
haven't give up on this.
Oh,
You know,
sorry.
I want to make sure that we got full board, because I do not like to pass anything or do anything with a split board. I want 100% of the board behind it or against it. And I think everybody should have her say, and I haven't heard of
Or
it.
or at least in attendance, at least in attendance.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't heard her say one way or the other. But I'd like to have her input. All right, nobody else got anything, I'll shut up and go on. Go down to administrator's report, because David, your proclamation is in our correspondence office.
So, elevator update. It's broken. Yeah. It's not what it is tonight.
We ordered a new elevator.
Right. So, Mark and I went back, you guys approved, you know, you mentioned the 60, you were wrong, but it didn't, come out the way they originally stated. So we did a little bit more clarification, went back, you know, we have, 2 other people also using our procurement process and actually brought in a third. So now we have 3 people right now, a whole bid, not a piecemeal, to fix it. So, but I will tell you, of course, in doing that, you know, we may be pleased, you know, with, listen, it's money spent, so not pleasing, but where we were in comparison to where we are, where we might be, I think might be reasonable enough to move forward with not putting, not just a Band-Aid, but like we were thinking about like a nice bandage and then come back and strip that off and do, you know what I mean? Now it's just, let's get it fixed. So, we should have something, I'm hoping by the end of this week that I can kind of throw out there, probably, and ask for your, you know, guidance or support in how you'd like to move. But we're right there. But it's been a little challenging because there's 2 different maintenance contracts on 2 different, and then we have our procurement thing, somebody else come in, then we have our engineer, you know, so, but it cleared a lot of things up.
Well, it's like I told you before. With all due respects to past boards and all, every building's antiquated, you know, and it's been band-aided to death. So if we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
Well, it's
Because in the long run, it'll save us money.
Yeah.
It'll pay for itself.
Well, we're trying to work in, we have a courthouse who needs one as well, and,
Yeah.
that might not be right away, but at least engage, with that bundled opportunity, and, I love the bundle, yeah, I want the best price for our county, with the best work that we can get, so I'll fight to get that.
I don't know if I dreamt this or what, but somewhere along the line, I got something in my mind about electric elevator that's run off electric instead
It's
of
a
all
cog.
hydraulic.
Yeah, it would come off the hydraulic,
Right.
so that's the other part, and it would be more like a cog wheel,
Right.
but yes, electric.
Well, that's the way too, if electricity goes off, the generators run that elevator,
That's right,
and we won't have somebody maybe stuck in it because the hydraulics will go up.
correct.
Then you don't have that hydraulic leak and all that oil to your floor,
Yeah.
So I didn't dream that, that's something that, okay.
So, I know
I
that
got
you
too
got,
much stuff.
yeah, no, you did good.
Right.
So I know that, previously you approved the $68,000 to move forward because it was gonna be part of a bigger fix. I would just like to keep that on hold because it still may come into play, but, just so if that's okay, we'll just keep that. But please note I'm not moving forward with that just yet. Makes sense?
I know a lot of people made fun of us when we put the sign up for people.
I probably
I mean-
saved some people.
They saved us.
At least some time.
When we had that public hearing, 10 people was riding it all the time, that thing got so hot it quit. So maybe, if we get a new upgraded one, we won't have that problem.
We actually had a woman who was wheelchair bound, who we brought up the back steps,
Right.
because she wanted to be there. And we carried her up. Next on the list
That
is,
proves what I said about anybody that's, has a handicap, wants to attend.
That's
We'll
right.
make arrangements.
I'll make that happen.
Very much.
Sorry. It wasn't Danny.
No?
Procom meeting, Dustin and I had, and Steve had a meeting with Joe Strickler, from Procom, kind of veering off of our last meeting, and there was a lot of clarification, with that Steve felt comfortable that he can move forward, and I'm hoping, again, by the end of the week, we may have what appears to be, a solid contract for you guys to look at. So, and Joe knows that, he's on board, he understands, some of the.
I was gonna say, and possibly approve at our next meeting,
Yes,
maybe?
that's the goal.
And that's Joe Procom.
Not
Joe,
this Joe.
yeah, Joe Strickler, I'm sorry, yes. You were in the meet, 2 Joes in the meeting, but yeah.
One A and one B.
That's
There you
right, that's right. And the other part is that Mark is in contact with, like, homeowners association for one of the property sites, so they had their meeting, so we should be getting information that is necessary, and the other people who are allowing to lease part of their land, they should be back in the country, but they're all set. As soon as they come back, they're like, where do we sign? So it's all lined up where they're all ready. So once the contract goes, we're off.
You don't have to answer right now, but we've got a question as to what type of power on which site.
Oh, yes. All those details would be, yes. And, define a lot more definition in services and timelines and what that involves. So it'll be good.
Could you clarify my question about, you had said 80 or 85%?
He's gonna send us all that documentation
Okay, good.
of like where and what their, testing was
Right.
and where,
Right.
yep.
Yeah,
He's
because
gonna
I
send it
wanna
off.
look at that.
Andrew Morris, town manager, Kathleen, Director of Tourism and I went up to Tuggles Gap and had a meeting with the new owners, so that was nice. I will tell you, it was real, they were lovely, real refreshing. They really wanna honor the history of Tuggles Gap, honor Floyd, you know, do things consistently, you know, not throw things out and take away. They're gonna do something, they're gonna methodically do it, stay consistent with it, and then add something else. The hotel's running, but they are planning on opening up the restaurant park.
Great.
Yeah,
They're good
so
folk.
they are,
They're good
they were neat, so, that was a joy. Emergency Management Roundtable, that will be a quarterly, thing that is, Dustin and Danny. So you want to explain it? Okay, all right, sorry. It's to get together quarterly with all the players, sheriffs, fire, admin, PSA, all to just get a better understanding with the needs, you know, expectations, how to better communicate, build a relationship, so we can continue to drive and make this county the safest county that we could possibly do, and work together, united to do it. So, that will be a quarterly meeting. There it is. The agency leadership is target audience for the conversation. Operational needs, department goals, interdepartmental and joint training exercises, and that was the other part they're gonna try to talk through, get through, and increase the trainings that are provided, talking to various external, departments and as well as inside who we have to be able to train. So it's good stuff, we're looking forward to it. So the first one will be on March 23rd, sorry?
Is the schools involved in that?
Yes, sir. Yep. So the whole, when we did our meetings and all our communications, school, PSA, town, maintenance, fire, EMS, and admin, emergency management, and the sheriff's office. So all that could possibly be affected, and that needs the communication. I mean, some of the feedback, like even from the school, this is really not our lane, but it's nice because people do ask. And it's nice to know what we're doing, and maybe they can participate and help, I mean, not, you know what I mean, but they know. PSA, he was over the top, he was like, it helped him make decisions for him, you know what I mean, so it increased the level that I think, we got great feedback.
Good.
Yeah. I got something late, sir, I know it's not on here, and tell me, it has to do, this communication, that you guys approved for, Lumsden to revisit the Willis site. Remember, we kind of pulled away and wanted just new eyes and more conversation. Again, we were good, we had addendums for sites with them, so it kind of fell into place, from the transfer station. So they did, there was 3 phases that we already had budgeted money for, and we asked them to do the 2 before they go to the 3rd, and we pay for the 3rd. Give us your best professional estimates, which would be compactors, I think 2 that would roll up, okay, a little bit smaller. They came in, so this question posed to you is if you would consider, once I tell you what it is, if we could move to the 3rd phase, which would really finalize and nail it down. They came in at, I believe it was $396,000, but just under $100,000 contingent, 25% contingency. So it was $400,000, but 25% of that was just a contingency fund to move forward on that site.
In case you hit rock or whatever.
So that was remember the original quote was 1.4, then we revisited and asked them to do a couple things, went to 1.2, then it went to 990,000, but they wanted like 300,000 in contingency, so this was, you got it? No? So my question to you is, with that, can we move forward to stage 3?
What's the total that we got in the whole complete project at that price?
I can tell you, I'll bring that up right now. You got it. Would that be okay to talk about it? Right?
We're headed in the right direction.
Yep.
Is it all right to talk about?
So we got it.
Is it all right to talk about?
Oh,
Yeah.
Here it is, okay. Maybe not. Sorry, sir, I'm trying to bring up the actual email. Here it is. So, continue? It's okay? So you asked, it's mobilization, construction, maintenance of traffic, demolition, grading, all the earthwork, entrance, fence, diversion dike, RW diversion, culvert, temporary sediment, temporary permanent seeding, storm drain, 18-inch RCP, concrete dumpster pad, pavement base, asphalt, base, surface, markers, pavement markers, and then the site fencing, the 6-foot chain link, 12-foot gate, 25% contingency. I'm sorry, I was incorrect. The subtotal, again, this is a quote on the first 2 phases, so, but they've been pretty forthright and, very close. $363,102. They're looking at a 25% contingency at $90,000.
So that's,
That's including buying the property, everything.
No, we already have the
we already
property.
own it.
We already,
I know that.
oh, sorry.
I'm just asking what we gonna end up with in it for the whole outlook. What I was talking about.
Just add another 54,000 to it.
Is that what it is? Or that counts in plans and all that? Okay.
No, that
Well,
wasn't-
I mean,
that's just-
we have to pay that 45,000, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, you got $500,000 in it.
And that's ready, I didn't hear a power in that, but that's separate. So that's having the site ready to put the compactors on, basically.
So we dropped down from 1.2
Yeah,
million. to
fencing,
half.
pads,
Right.
entrance, signage, I mean, everything would be,
But that 1.2 million was mostly
He
grading.
was all right.
1.2 is grading.
That was all grading, that wasn't site ready.
So
That was
what
just
you're saying
grading.
is we're saving over $1 million.
Correct.
But how many sites will we have? Like
How many
dumpster sites?
sites?
How many
Oh.
dumpsters?
Dumpsters.
I was like,
What, yeah, we know we gave up a lot, right?
Compactors.
These are compactors.
Oh, this is just for 2 compactors.
but 2 compactors, there will be
Okay.
roll off and there'll be an area for recycling,
Okay.
things like that, so, but you
So
gotta
we
remember,
went
2
away from the dumpsters.
compactors, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we got 150 dumpsters there across the. There's a lot of dumpsters out there, fellas.
But
I don't
those
know if you was
compactors-
here when Mark was, that may have been before you come on the board. Mark said that we got, 16 dumpsters up at,
Correct.
Elementary
Yeah.
School.
And a lot.
All right, and they, up there even on Sunday morning, they used to do things about every other day. With these compactors on that side up there, they may have to run a truck up there once every 3 weeks or so.
Really?
Yeah, and so what we save on fuel, is make it cheaper about taking it to Coy's Mountain.
Mhm.
Because when they pick in row-ups up, my understanding is they can take them over and dump them.
Yeah, they don't take them to Earth, they just take them straight to Floyd's Mountain.
And that saves us paying Thompson Trucking.
Whew. That'd be
In
nice.
the long run, they're gonna pay for themselves.
Well, yeah, then you don't have wear and tear, you don't have, all gas, all that stuff. So this would be two compactors, 2 stations, 2 pads, recycling container, and then there would be, the 2, what?
And the attendance
Yeah, attendance booth, so that would include all that.
And you'll have the roll-offs for white goods or other stuff that don't
Correct.
go in the.
And it includes the compactors.
No,
No.
this is
Just the
site
site
ready for the compact.
We'll have
Shovel ready.
650,000 in it.
We keep going up, don't we?
Yeah. I mean,
And
'cause
you don't
those
have to do two,
compactors
you know,
is
but-
like, what, 70 or
Yeah.
70-some thousand for a compactor?
I was
right?
thinking that you first said that the compactor was included in the 300.
Oh, I'm sorry, if I didn't mean that.
I think we're back at
No,
60 or 70.
I'm talking compactors and installation, the whole
Yeah, about
package,
70.
not just the compactor, but the whole thing.
We were at
Because
half.
you gotta have electrician and all
And
that
add
stuff.
another 150, so 650.
That's still less than half.
And we own the land. Because that's has been an ongoing challenge,
Is
something
that
that's
paper
ready.
asphalt?
Sorry?
Is that paper asphalt?
Asphalt is
No, the right way.
Entrance, asphalt.
That is a double entrance,
Yeah,
right?
and see, it's right, Mark, I see it. This
I gotta
asphalt-
ask, I'm sorry,
I
but
know.
The reason the asphalt was on,
I'm pretty sure it
we'll make
is.
it deep enough to carry the big trucks going in.
double
It's-
entrance as far as like 2 lanes going in.
Yes,
So the-
down there.
Yes.
So that,
Double.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Double entrance.
We learned
that's
our
right.
lesson on
Yes.
Franklin
Well, we
Park.
couldn't do it on Franklin.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
that wasn't an option.
Right,
So, yes, it's done.
that way you don't have to back up in the road and.
And then, yeah, and then Mr. Phillips, one of the, like the chairman was saying, I'll see if I can get that, documentation to you about, when they came and presented about the compactor. But in 2 years, just in the decrease in everything else, you pretty much, got your return on the, compactor.
On the compactors themselves,
That's
yeah.
correct, that's correct. And the way we're going, it would probably be sooner, because, those trash trucks are, we continue to lead
Yeah, we're,
in
We're looking at
repairs.
Back up with him.
well, I was gonna say, the school buses is not the only thing we want to buy.
Right.
So do we pay,
Besides
so
that,
$500,000 for a trash truck, and if there's a weight on it, it's close to 500 now, it's like 480, something to that nature, and a waiting list. And then we started looking at used ones, and I mean, we're,
So 2 of those would be right at $1 million.
Two trucks, yes.
See, another thing, when they first come up with these compactor ideas, I was against that, because I had all these horror pictures, with a kid getting smashed or something like that, But once that representative came here and presented it, I mean, I don't think you could mash yourself in it.
because it's safe, yeah, and that's the other thing,
Will these
safe,
stations be-
bear-proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will these stations be manned?
Yes,
Okay, I was just checking.
yeah.
A lot of people dumpster dives.
The only way you can, well, you can't.
You can't dumpster
You
dive, once
can't,
it goes
even,
in.
even if they, let's say they were going, they had to run up the road to get something. Well, you can lock the whole place entirely, but you can lock the dumpster. The dumpster would close, you can't get anything in there, and the only way to open it is you have to do a key movement.
And see, once you put your trash in there, and you walk around, or they walk around, and compact, so anything goes in there, nobody can get it back out, it's gone. And then at night, you can close it, it's fireproof, we don't have to worry about the fires in there.
And this
Well,
is,
then we
this,
can add
the reason
protein
it's,
for our
Protein
trash.
to our trash.
and the reason it's, a lot less money, a big part of it is, it's less than an acre, so there's, that's not gonna be disturbed, so.
We still have 4 acres that later on if we need it.
That's
You rescue building or you,
That's right.
We're in, you know.
new county garage or whatever.
So, we're not, it's just to let them know, we've already approved, we're the ones that asked them, would they be able to come back, and they've honored, that we could just go ahead and let them finish it out. Are you guys,
I think we should just go ahead and let them
okay?
continue on.
Thank you.
That's if the other board members.
I think so. I had one citizen commenting on it that, you know, the reduced amount was it, and then they referenced that other site up there, and when I told them how much it was gonna cost just to purchase, they said, you can't do that. Because we did that on that site, then every site we went to purchase would be that
Correct,
or more.
correct.
And, you know, that person says, well, of course, they didn't have the detail we have right now, but they were saying, well, it sounds like it's probably the best deal you're gonna get right at the moment.
Is this consensus cost us money for them to keep doing stuff? Or,
We've already had that money that was gonna go to the other, company we were using, but we knew we weren't going to work with that, with the quotes that they gave. So we kinda just, we asked if we could switch it and try this one using that money that we've already approved. So it's not,
yeah, but I mean, they're wanting to know if we want to further,
just phase three,
Right.
just phase three, yeah.
so does that cost money
It does.
for us to say yes?
It already did, yeah.
Um,
You already, yeah.
How much did it cost?
I think this phase is, I think, let me get back, I think it was less than like 20,000, it was part of, it was like 12,000, but I don't wanna,
The only thing I would just say maybe is, I don't know what Linda's opinion is on it.
We got enough for a consensus. I don't know if we'll operate.
But you're
But
just,
actually-
you're moving forward to get a final number,
correct.
and
But
then
it's
you'll bring that
still-
final number back to us.
Yeah, because we, remember we talked, we said, well, we're gonna go back to them and say, they're gonna do phase 1 and 2, which we've already approved
They're-
3,
They're
but we.
still doing what the other company did, where they hold us hostage and say they need more money. to do
No,
another phase.
no, actually, they're doing the opposite. We asked
So
that
what
they
do we
not
need
do,
consensus
to not do all 3 phases, please don't, and give us your best professional estimate after, because they had to do the 2 phases to get to this point. I mean, they had to get there, they had to do the land, they had, you know,
So what do they-
survey.
What do they need the consensus for? the
This will
third
be
phase?
like just to finalize what they need.
The third.
But it costs money to
Yes.
do it, so they're still holding us hostage.
No, because we don't have to do it. We don't have to work with them. I mean,
That's
we
what
don't
I'm
have to-
saying, but that's
Oh,
what the
yes.
last company did too, they were like, for us to go further, we need
No, because
X
they
amount
were
of dollars.
forthright saying there were 3 phases. I was the one to say, hold up, if you do the first 2, can you give us an estimate? Because if they came back at 1.5 million, we were gonna say, don't do phase 3, and they said, okay. So they actually, if they came back at a price that we didn't wanna even consider, they weren't gonna get paid the phase 3, and they knew that.
It's basically.
So actually, they worked with us.
It's basically, they're bidding on the third phase.
So, but our price of the 300 some, it looks good, it sounds good, but they don't have to stick to that.
No,
Right.
no, no.
So we could pay for this third phase and then come back and say, well, upon further investigation, now it's actually gonna be
And then we can.
$750.
And then
But we just paid them money that tell us it's gonna be.
The only thing I can tell you is just that the history we have working with them, they have already saved us a lot of money. They've been working with us.
And if we
So
don't
that's
do
up to
this
you.
one, then we'll have to find another site, and go through all this again, you know, we're spending money.
I just don't like the practice of it. That's like me coming to you and saying, well, Joe, I think we can sell your property for maybe X amount of dollars.
It's not for sale.
But for me to give you further information, you're gonna have to go ahead and pay me this, and then I'll go back and tell you if I really think we
No,
can sell it.
Mr. Cox, I think you're, and maybe
I mean,
I'm not,
that's the way that.
maybe I'm not
understanding it.
explaining it right. So from the beginning, we asked them, this is what, would you look at this? This is what we had. And he
Right.
said, yes, and that to do, there's 3 phases to it, right from the beginning.
Right. I
They
get
said
that
there are
part,
3
yeah.
phases. To get to the complete, like, most accurate number, we have to do all 3 phases. Okay, so then started talking, I said, well, Mark, can they do like they'll need to do the first two, we understood that, but can they give us their best professional quote, you know, at the end of phase two, and not to move forward unless it's reasonable and you guys wanna move forward? And they said, okay, they didn't have to do that. They could have went,
Well, what does phase 3 entail?
I'll get you the details, cause I don't wanna sit here and I don't have it 100%, but I think it's to really make sure, it's not that far off from what some of the stuff, they think they just have to do a little bit deeper on it, especially with the roadway and things of that nature.
But they still need money though, to do phase 3.
Which we knew that from the get-go. I asked them to not do all 3 phases, and they said, okay, with the understanding that we might not move forward, and they were okay with that.
Well, I think that is confusion. Do we pay them more money to give us a number for what their estimate is of phase 3?
Say that again?
Do we pay them more money to give us an estimate of phase 3?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but they also knew that if we didn't wanna move forward after their quote, they weren't going to get any more money.
If they present it, we don't want it, we don't pay it.
Right. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it on the other because I've been working on it with other things, so maybe I'm looking at, I understand what you're saying, like, they have to do phase 3 to get, you know, our final number.
But I think in what you just said, if we say, go ahead and give us a price on phase 3, we don't do phase 3, they don't get any more money.
Right.
Right, and that's what we did to the last company. It's the same.
No, I thought the last company we had to pay them.
A lot more.
Yeah. We have.
We had to pay
They
them a
still
little.
came to us and said, for us to move forward with this, we need X amount of dollars. And then we said, no, let's scratch that. And we went to this company.
Utilizing the money that we've already approved to give to the other company.
Right,
We kinda
right,
just shifted it
right,
over, so,
right.
yeah.
But they're still doing the same strategy.
If I understand it correctly, any company that is capable of giving us these plans, they're going to charge us per phase.
Each engineer, right?
Giving us an out.
Hmm?
They're giving
So
us
if
an
we
out.
don't do this one, we don't do phase 3,
They're
we'll find another engineering company and start over and paying for.
And they're giving us, you know, they are giving us an out. We don't have to continue and we don't have to pay. So, I mean, this is the lane. They, when they came in and did the landfill, another huge savings. Not interrupting things, not having to go areas that, that others said we had to. They listened, they were reasonable, so responsive, called back. And they could have said, no, I can't do that at phase 2, you have to wait till phase 3. And we would have said, okay, because it was already approved. But they didn't. So I kind of look at it that way.
So what you saying, we're starting all over?
Oh,
We're not starting over.
Well, I mean, you went back to, they ain't gonna do phase 3, so we have to start back over with
No,
one company.
they'll do
No.
phase 3 if we tell them to.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want us to move forward, they'll complete phase 3, we'll get like some final stamped, engineered stamped. But like I said, they haven't skewed too far. There has been some adjustments and yet, expect that. But I will also get you more of the details of what that entails.
The other company, we're using the money that they were supposed to get for this company. We didn't pay the other company.
But we paid them 45,000.
Yeah, that's all. But what I mean is, we just moved the money we had approved for the other company over, instead of paying them, we're moving it over to this.
Well, and just one more, the other thing is that we kept going back to that other company asking, can you adjust, you know what I mean, like, we don't need this, and can you do this? It went from 1.4 million to 1.2, well, don't do me any favors over there, you know what I mean, like, could you, and that's why we kind of shifted, Mark's like, well, can I talk to, we had such a good experience in a couple other projects, and right from the get-go, yeah, that make, you know, yeah, we can look at that, that makes sense. There was no 1.4, 1.2, it was 1.2, 300,000 was $90,000 contingency. And we don't have to go with them, you know what I mean? It might not be that it works out, and that could be, we go back to the drawing board if we wanna move forward, and that would be up to you guys.
But every time we go back to the drawing board, it's gonna cost us more money.
That's correct. And we go back up because we have to be their own phase one again, not
Yeah,
this
you'd have to
company
go
with
through the
another
whole
one.
You'd have to go through the whole thing again.
If we wanna move forward at that site, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is this like an action item or a consensus?
Just consensus.
Yeah.
I think we should move forward.
Okay.
Because we're so far into it that backing that up now, I mean, if they come back with some outrageous number, we can always still back out.
100%. Without hesitancy.
But with their track record, from what I've seen so far, I don't expect an outrageous number.
I don't either. Nor does Mark.
No,
I should have.
No, they have to do a good deal, they did
Yeah.
helping us with the landfill and all that stuff,
That's correct.
you know.
Real responsive, and listened and worked through a lot of stuff, talked through a lot of stuff with Mark and the guys down there, and so,
Well,
and it was
nothing.
beneficial.
Like compared to landfill, you know, we was wanting it done a certain way, and they said, no,
Yeah.
that's gonna cost you more money.
Mm-hmm.
They come back, so let's do it this way, which is a whole lot better plan than what we
Oh,
did,
yeah.
and cost us less,
Correct.
you know, so I trust this company, you know, I may be wrong, but
Yeah, I mean, they've been forthright so far.
Yeah.
So, I think if we're gonna move forward with this site, that I would suggest doing this part and then decide, either now, no, later, shift, you know what I mean? But this is gonna be a gauge that I think you can make at least a, you know, not a, oh my God, $1.4 million for a roll-off, you know what I mean? Because that's what it came down to. This is like, now we could really plan and, I'll get some material fused, Phillips, for the compact, so you have that gauge, you know, have that understanding.
She's gonna shoot me. And see, once we get these, then we can start looking for one somewhere between Joe and Walter's district, and one between, hopefully between Yorn and Linda's that'll serve as.
I about gave up on mine.
No. Don't give up on me.
Well, gosh, I gave up on
No.
ours.
And I'm still saying, even when we strategically locate these, as big as y'all's districts is, you're gonna have to have two of those districts. Now, we're,
we need one over in Evergreen now.
And it could be a
because
combo.
the districts
Yeah.
are so big.
Yeah.
Now, if they're located close to mine, then my people will pick up, but, you know, mine will have this, it'll have the landfill, the one we're doing there, so, you know, if, you know, it might be
You
one.
did balance along, now we need one down towards around 8, and also back the other way, and Joe there, he needs one as well, and also back to Buffalo.
Look at Levi's district,
Well.
how far,
well,
you know, I mean, that's what I mean, all the districts are so, y'all's districts are so
That's right,
big,
yeah,
I don't think one's gonna service
that's
us.
right. And you got Linda's district down there too, I mean, you don't know how much things tie together, I don't know that, but I understand what you're saying.
Next thing we gotta look at, if we can do this well site, we got it now, and land paid for it, we done just for it. Then we don't do it, but we gotta look around and find some more land somewhere else, then we gotta buy that land,
Go through it all
and
again.
go through it all again.
I know the problems, I know the problems.
Sorry, goodbye.
It's gone, that's gone now. That one's gone, it's under contract.
I had a
It
guy,
went on the public market, and now it's under contract.
I had a guy tell me today, he said, y'all don't need to be buying land, county don't need to buy land. We were talking about Greasel. I tell you, I said, look at all these green box sites we have. Majority of them's on private land. People are telling us, move them, get them out, we don't want them no more. So there we are, we're having, and with this, we own the land, we set it up, it's ours, nobody can force us off of it, and it's gonna save the county money.
Look at the number of sites that have gone away
Yeah.
just since I came on board in 2018.
I love
That's not
seven
even,
sites in my district.
right.
Yeah.
And see, I can think of one, two, I can think of two on Route 8, just Route 8, two and soon to be three on Route 8, just in Madden. So, we're gonna have to buy the sites, and that way then who are sitting in these seats controls.
And they don't have to catch the flack with it. So
No.
I guess you got a
I got it.
consensus.
I did, thank you. And then just to let you know
Look
that,
at what you want.
you know, they were still emailing back and forth. 6:41 was like the last email, they were still answering, going back, you know, not knowing this, obviously it's 8 o'clock, but that's how they're just corresponding.
Tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight, okay,
So,
well, that's good.
yeah. So thank you.
Yes.
Have a cookie.
I see something that said number 20, something about an adjournment.
So,
Yeah.
was you looking for that?
I got it.
All right, a motion to adjourn, Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
and Mr. Turner. Thank you.
I'm glad we can still agree to disagree.